Hi, welcome back to another art challenge. This time we're going to do another drawing lesson, and we're going to focus on improving our skills at drawing a human face, so people's faces. Now I'm just going to give you some general guidelines to kind of help you map out the face and where the facial features go. But I say general because everybody's face is different, right? But we will go through the general guidelines and I'll give you some tips on how to draw some facial features. Alright, so I apologize for my bad hair today, but I wanted to kind of pull back my hair and tuck my hair behind my ears so you can see just the general layout of a face. So our heads are rounded more at the top. Okay, they come more, not to a point, but they're more narrow at the chin. Overall, it's kind of an egg shape. Okay, now as you look at my face, you can see that my eyes are, from the top of my head to my chin, are right about at the middle. Okay, and then of course our faces are symmetrical vertically. So the first couple of lines that we'll be putting on our paper are the crown of the head. We'll draw the chin, and then we're going to divide that shape in half, both horizontally and vertically. Alright, so the first step that we need to do is actually make the shape of the head. Now this can be tricky because, you know, we said it's kind of an egg shape, but how do you make sure that it's wide enough or not too skinny? So what I'm going to have you do is use a bowl or a lid or something circle that will fit on your paper. See, I've already practiced one here. And I'm going to trace the bowl. So the top of this bowl shape is going to be the round crown of the head. Okay, so up here will be the top of the head. And then I need to just kind of freehand an arc, a curve that comes down from that head shape. So for this, make sure that you're not starting, you know, below and having a line come like that. That would look silly. Okay, we need to, this is part of the face, part of the head. So start at the widest part. Let's erase this part. Right, you're gonna start at the widest part of the circle, and it's okay to just kind of let your pencil lightly sketch. That means you're kind of drawing the lines back and forth a little bit till you feel like it's right. And then on the other side, widest part of the circle, kind of gradually let it curve down. And I always tell my kids, draw lightly until you know that it's right. Draw light until you know it's right.
Like that.
Alright, so now you can see that I have erased the bottom edge of the circle, and I just kind of eyeballed it with cutting it in half, dividing it in half vertically and horizontally. Now the vertical division is pretty easy to see. What gets tricky is the horizontal division. Make sure that you're using the entire distance from the top of the head to the chin and cutting that in half. Because if you use the distance from the edge of the circle, it's going to throw off your proportion. You see how much higher this line is than this line if I don't pay attention to this extra distance that I added. So make sure that your horizontal division is equal above and below. And now we're going to start placing some features. Alright, so when I was having you look at my face, I pointed out that my eyes were about halfway between the top of my head and my chin. So this line right here is going to be kind of where we're going to map out the eyes. Now the eyes can be a little bit tricky because how big do you make the eyes, right? So if you think about the width of your whole head, generally you should be able to fit about the width of 5 eyes across your whole head. So if you think about the width of an eye. Being about like this. Okay, so I'm just gonna make an arc, kind of a frown. This would be the eyelid on both sides. Now I want you to see something here. This space in between the eyes is about the same width as one of the eyes. The same with this space between the eye and the side of the head. It's about the same width as one of the eyes. So that's how you can kind of try to space out your eyes correctly. It might take some erasing and going back and forth, and that's totally okay. So here I have the upper eyelid. I'm just going to add part of the iris kind of hanging down. Our irises are perfect circles, but we don't usually see the whole circle unless we have our eyes super wide open and we're really surprised. So I'm going to draw just part of that circle hanging down from the eyelid. Okay, and then so that's kind of our guide for the eyes. Of course we can have eyebrows. I might just kind of sketch in some eyebrows right here. All right, moving down the face to the nose. Okay, we have this guideline for our eyes. We have the bottom of our chin here. So now we're gonna find the halfway point between here and here. So it's going to be about right there. You can eyeball this, you don't have to measure. But I'm going to just lightly draw a line across. That line is going to be roughly or generally where the tip of my nose is going to be. Okay, so for a nose, just to keep it really simple, I'm going to actually draw the tip of the nose like a little curved shape like that. Okay, beside the tip of our noses we have nostrils. So from this edge I'm just going to draw a little bump, a little darker bump, and do one on the other side. Now some people have wider noses, some have more narrow, but I have the tip of my nose and I have two nostrils. And now just to finish this little part, I'm just going to indicate the curved side of the nose on each side. So really it's just kind of a wavy line. The ends are a little darker for the nostrils, and then just lightly two little, almost like parentheses, for the side of the nose. All right, moving down to the mouth. So now again, from the tip of the nose to the chin, I kind of want to find the approximate halfway mark, maybe a little bit above, and kind of draw a line across there. That's going to be for our lips and our mouth. Now we're going to make lips really simple here. I'm just going to darken a line for the crease between the upper and lower lip. I'm going to hint at the lower lip with a curve right there, and I'm going to hint at the top of the lip with a little divot, little curve line there. But I'm not going to completely outline the lips. That tends to make it look more clown-like than what I want. So I'm going to just leave those little lines to suggest the lips. Now on your person, if you see the ears, sometimes the hair covers the ears, but you can also use these guidelines out here for the ears. So generally the ear will start close to this top line by the eye and come down to the nose area. So you can draw just kind of a line that kind of goes up and down, around, close to the face for an ear. Now, like I said, a lot of times when we draw people, the hair eventually covers the ears, that we don't see that part. Speaking of hair, it looks like my person has a very large forehead right now. This person is bald. But if they were to have hair, we all have hair at one point, the hairline would start down here. This is the very tippy top of the head. If you look at yourself in the mirror, you see your hairline above your forehead. So about right here is where my hair is going to start. And depending on what kind of hair you're going to give this person, you could just kind of start drawing their hairstyle, maybe framing their face, or maybe you want their hair to be more wild. I'm not sure what you're going to be planning, but this is going to be a fun part of this project, is designing their hair, practicing faces, and then be a hair designer. Alright, I just want to kind of fill in the eyes here to give it a more human appearance. I'm going to give them an iris. Well, I gave them an iris. I'm going to give them a pupil. Okay, and I might just kind of darken the eyelid a little bit, just the top lid. I'm not going to worry too much about the bottom lid. I'm going to fill in the iris part. That's the colored part of your eye. You could do this with colored pencil or crayon. Give them brown eyes or green eyes or blue eyes or whatever you want to do. But I'm just sticking with pencil. Now if you want to add eyelashes, and you should maybe spend some time looking at your eyelashes in the mirror. When you see somebody from straight on, we see the eyelashes kind of come out to the side, but as the eyelashes move towards the top of the eyelid, we don't see them quite as much. So make them a little bit shorter, make them longer on the side. Now, and if you don't want to draw eyelashes, you don't have to. I'm really loving this person's hairdo. I think I'm gonna go have some more fun with that. If you guys have any questions, please leave comments. Otherwise, enjoy.